What if I told you that every moment you spend delaying a task is a moment lost to anxiety, regret, and unfulfilled potential? Procrastination is more than just a lack of willpower. It is a complex psychological phenomenon that intertwines with our emotions, our cognitive processes, and even our identities. Studies show that nearly 20% of adults identify themselves as chronic procrastinators. That's a staggering number, indicating that procrastination is a widespread issue that permeates across all age groups and professions. But what drives this behavior? To understand procrastination, we first need to delve into its psychological roots. Often, we associate procrastination with poor time management or laziness. However, psychologists have identified a more intricate relationship between procrastination and emotional regulation. That is, for many people, procrastination serves as a coping mechanism to manage negative emotions like fear, boredom, or overwhelm. Imagine staring at a daunting project deadline while anxiety grips you tighter than a vice. Instead of tackling the task, it might feel easier to scroll through social media or binge watch a show. However, this momentary escape only amplifies feelings of stress when the deadline looms even closer. Research from Dr. Timothy Pychyl, a leading researcher in the field of procrastination, reveals that when we procrastinate, we often do so to avoid negative feelings about the task at hand. His studies indicate that procrastination is less about the task itself and more about emotional avoidance. When faced with stress or perfectionism, our brains default to delay, believing that avoidance will protect us from discomfort. But is this truly a solution? Not at all. What we find is that this avoidance spirals into a cycle of guilt and shame. Procrastinators often grapple with self-blame and self-doubt, which can lead to further procrastination. After all, who wants to engage with a task that feels like an uphill battle? This realization sheds light on the complex interplay between our emotions and our capacity to act. To break this cycle, we need to confront the internal dialogue that fuels procrastination. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, has shown promising results in helping individuals identify and challenge their thoughts surrounding procrastination. For example, if you think, "I'll never get this done," you might replace that thought with, "I can take it one step at a time." This simple shift can provide the motivation needed to start moving forward. Understanding procrastination isn't just about recognizing its presence in our lives, it's about translating that understanding into action. Starting with self-awareness is the first step. Becoming aware of our procrastination triggers, be they emotional, situational, or task-related, can empower us to combat them effectively. What do you think your triggers are? Perhaps it's the fear of failure, or maybe it's the overwhelming scope of a project. By identifying these triggers, you become equipped with the knowledge necessary to address them head-on. With that being said, what lies ahead in our exploration? In the next chapter, we will dive deeper into the emotional forces behind procrastination, unveiling how feelings of perfectionism intertwine with this behavior and holding us back. Are you ready to face the emotions that keep you stuck? Imagine spending hours perfecting a single sentence while deadlines slip through your fingers. This is the everyday reality for many perfectionists, and it reveals a critical aspect of procrastination that we dare not ignore. Perfectionism often wears a mask of high standards and ambition, but beneath that facade lies a crippling fear of failure. Studies indicate that perfectionists are more susceptible to procrastination than those who do not identify as such. A 2013 study found that around 25% of students who identified as perfectionists regularly procrastinated on their schoolwork. This link is not coincidental, it's a toxic marriage between the desire for flawlessness and fear of inadequacy. At its core, perfectionism paralyzes action. It creates an unreasonable expectation of success at every turn, leading individuals to procrastinate as a way to avoid the anxiety that comes from the possibility of not achieving those lofty goals. For example, think about the writer who struggles to begin a new article, fearing that it won't measure up to their previous work. Instead of writing, they find themselves stuck in a cycle of research, revisions, and endless brainstorming, never allowing their ideas to come to fruition. But the reality is that perfectionism is an unrealistic pursuit. No one can be perfect, yet the urge to achieve this elusive ideal can result in chronic self-sabotage. For instance, many people find themselves waiting for the right moment to start a project, believing that without the perfect conditions, their efforts will be futile. This belief stops them from taking the first step altogether. So how can we work to overcome this perfectionist mindset? Cognitive restructuring, part of CBT, offers useful strategies to challenge these limiting beliefs. By actively reframing thoughts around perfectionism, we can start to shift our mindset from one of fear to one of growth. For example, shifting from "I can't fail" to "I can learn from my mistakes" frees individuals from the paralyzing grip of perfectionism. This creates a pathway for success that is not contingent upon flawlessness but instead celebrates progress. Moreover, understanding that failure is not the end of the world can be liberating. Successful figures like J.K. Rowling faced numerous rejections before achieving her literary success. Her story serves as a compelling example that failure is often a stepping stone to greatness. By adopting a growth-oriented mindset, we can break free from the shackles of perfectionism and reduce procrastination. As we continue our journey, the next chapter will reveal real-life stories of individuals who have triumphed over their procrastination battles. These tales of resilience will inspire you and reinforce the idea that change is both possible and attainable. Are you ready for some powerful examples that could shift your perspective on procrastination? What if I told you that the path to overcoming procrastination is lined with stories of resilience and transformation? In this chapter, we will explore real-life success stories that illustrate how individuals have conquered their procrastination demons and emerged stronger on the other side. Take the story of Tim Urban, a TED speaker and writer known for his enlightening insights about procrastination. Tim candidly shared his journey in his popular talk, Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator. In his story, he describes how he delayed writing his thesis for years, confining himself to the metaphorical panic monster that awoke just before deadlines. What's fascinating about Tim's journey is that he does not view procrastination as a failure but rather as a reflection of his struggle with fear and uncertainty. He learned to harness these feelings by establishing clear deadlines and breaking down tasks into manageable pieces. Tim's approach demonstrates that procrastination can be tempered by taking proactive steps and finding accountability in one's work. Then there's the story of Dr. John Perry, a philosopher known for his unique approach to procrastination. Unlike most, Perry advocated for what he termed structured procrastination. He shared how he became immensely productive by creating a hierarchy of tasks, ensuring that while he might delay one important task, he was simultaneously completing others. This perspective not only validates the struggles of procrastinators but also provides a practical framework for managing those tendencies. By scheduling less critical tasks alongside more significant ones, individuals can utilize their procrastination tendencies to their advantage. This concept flips the script on procrastination and encourages productivity, even when one feels the urge to delay. Another inspiring illustration comes from the life of a young woman named Jenna, who found herself constantly postponing her studies in college. Faced with overwhelming anxiety and perfectionism, Jenna sought help from a counselor who introduced her to the Pomodoro technique, a time management method that encourages short bursts of focused work followed by breaks. Over time, Jenna learned to embrace imperfection, recognizing that completing a task was better than waiting for it to be flawless. Her journey didn't stop there. Jenna discovered the power of accountability by forming a study group with her peers. Together, they held each other accountable for meeting deadlines and completing their assignments. This communal effort not only bolstered her productivity but also transformed her relationship with her studies from one of dread to one of joy. What these stories tell us is that overcoming procrastination is not merely about sheer willpower. It's about understanding our emotional landscape and finding strategies that work for us. As we wrap up this chapter, the next one will dive into effective techniques and strategies that can help anyone break free from procrastination. Are you ready to arm yourself with tools for transformation? Now that we've explored the psychological underpinnings and real-life success stories, it's time to uncover practical strategies that can help combat procrastination effectively. The truth is, overcoming procrastination requires a toolbox of techniques that empower you to take action, regardless of the emotional hurdles you face. One of the most popular and effective strategies is the Pomodoro technique, initially developed by Francesco Cirillo. This method involves breaking work into intervals, typically 25 minutes, followed by a short break. The beauty of the Pomodoro technique lies in its simplicity. By focusing on a task for just 25 minutes, individuals can sidestep feelings of overwhelm and engage in a form of timed engagement. This creates a sense of urgency that can propel you into action. After completing a session, taking a short break allows you to recharge and approach the next Pomodoro with renewed energy. Studies reveal that this method can significantly increase productivity and decrease procrastination rates. Another effective strategy is the 2-minute rule. Proposed by David Allen, author of the productivity book Getting Things Done, this rule suggests that if a task will take less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. This seemingly simple guideline can help you tackle small tasks that often pile up and contribute to feelings of procrastination. By clearing minor items off your to-do list, you create a psychological boost that encourages you to tackle larger tasks as well. Next, let's discuss the importance of setting clear and achievable goals. The SMART Goals framework, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, provides an effective structure for goal setting that can combat procrastination. Instead of saying, "I will work more," set a goal like, "I will write 500 words of my report by Friday at noon." By being specific about what you want to achieve, you're more likely to stay focused and motivated. Furthermore, creating a conducive environment plays a key role in reducing procrastination. Environment can heavily influence our work habits. Designating a specific space for focused work, removing distractions like phone notifications, and establishing a routine can set the stage for productivity. Accountability is another powerful tool. Find a buddy, mentor, or even an online group that aligns with your goals. Sharing your progress and deadlines with others creates a sense of accountability that can motivate you to stay committed and reduce feelings of isolation in your journey. Lastly, practicing self-compassion is crucial. Instead of berating yourself for procrastinating, acknowledge your feelings and understand that everyone struggles with procrastination at times. By treating yourself kindly, you are more likely to create a healthy relationship with your work and find the motivation to move forward. As we conclude this chapter, we will explore how cognitive restructuring can further enhance your battle against procrastination. Are you ready to delve into the mental shifts that can propel you towards success? As we delve deeper into overcoming procrastination, we must consider the power of cognitive restructuring, a mental shift that can transform your relationship with work and time management. Cognitive restructuring is a technique rooted in cognitive behavioral therapy, which emphasizes the importance of changing negative thought patterns to alter behavior. The fundamental idea is that our thoughts significantly influence our emotions and consequently our actions. When faced with a task, procrastinators often default to negative self-talk that reinforces their belief that they cannot succeed. For example, thoughts like, "I always mess things up" or "I'll never finish this" become barriers that keep individuals stuck. Cognitive restructuring encourages us to challenge these thoughts. A valuable approach is to categorize thoughts into helpful and unhelpful labels. For instance, replace "I can't do it" with "I may struggle, but I can improve with practice." This shift cultivates a growth mindset, where challenges are seen as opportunities for development rather than insurmountable obstacles. Another powerful technique is visualization. Visualizing yourself completing a task, effectively managing your time, or even achieving a goal can create a conducive psychological environment for action. When your brain recognizes a successful outcome, it can help to diminish feelings of anxiety surrounding the task. Additionally, breaking down tasks into smaller, manageable chunks can mitigate feelings of overwhelm. For example, instead of aiming to complete the report, an individual can set subtasks such as outline the report, draft the introduction, and compile references. This breakdown simplifies the task into achievable steps, allowing you to face each component without the weight of the whole burden on your shoulders. Each completed step can boost your confidence, motivating you to continue your progress. Finally, practice positive affirmations to reinforce your ability to overcome procrastination. Affirmations such as "I am capable" and "I take productive action" can rewire our brains to adopt a more proactive attitude. As we conclude this chapter, remember that cognitive restructuring isn't a quick fix but a process that requires consistent practice. Transforming your mindset takes time and patience, yet the benefits can be profound, helping you break free from the grip of procrastination. Stay tuned, as our next chapter will summarize everything we've learned and empower you with actionable steps to integrate these concepts into your daily life. Will you take the leap towards your best self? As we journey deeper into the realm of procrastination, it's imperative to explore the underpinnings of human motivation. Why do we sometimes find ourselves staring blankly at a task that we know needs to be done? The science behind motivation reveals fascinating insights into our behavioral patterns. Studies indicate that motivation is a complex interplay of intrinsic and extrinsic factors. Intrinsic motivation derives from internal satisfaction, like the joy of mastering a new skill, while extrinsic motivation is influenced by external rewards, such as praise or tangible benefits. Research by psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan highlights the self-determination theory, which states that people are most motivated when their needs for competence, autonomy, and relatedness are met. Competence, or the feeling of effectiveness in challenging tasks, is a crucial element. When we procrastinate, we may feel that we lack the skills or knowledge necessary to succeed. This can lead to avoidance behaviors. For instance, a 2003 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that self-efficacy, believing in one's ability to perform a task, significantly affects motivation levels. If you're constantly doubting your abilities, the motivation to tackle tasks diminishes. On the other hand, autonomy plays a pivotal role as well. When people feel in control of their decisions and actions, they are more likely to engage deeply with their work. Consider a project manager who implements flexible deadlines for their team. This autonomy can enhance motivation, leading to greater productivity. Let's explore what happens when these factors are misaligned. For instance, high school students often face pressures not only from themselves but also from parents and teachers, creating a storm of expectations. They might choose to procrastinate as a defense mechanism, avoiding the task to shy away from the intense feelings of inadequacy. This psychological escape can provide temporary relief but leads to long-term consequences. Current studies also shine a light on the relationship between motivation and time management. Not all time management strategies are created equal. A 2016 study published in the Journal of Educational Psychology uncovered that students who utilized the Pomodoro technique, working in short bursts with breaks, had higher rates of task completion than those engaged in marathon study sessions. This technique not only improves focus but reinforces motivation through the short bursts of achievement. As we reflect on the science of motivation, it is clear that understanding our personal drivers can illuminate pathways to overcoming procrastination. It's about forging an internal desire to succeed while managing the external pressures that can stiflingly pull us back. By harnessing strategies that reinforce motivation, whether through celebrating small victories or creating environments rich in autonomy, individuals can transcend procrastination and engage more fully with their goals. But motivation is just one piece of the puzzle. What happens when we combine it with accountability? What role does community play? These powerful questions lead us into our next chapter. Continuing our exploration of procrastination, we now turn to a powerful tool that can drive change: accountability. In an age of connectivity, having someone to hold us accountable can make all the difference in overcoming procrastination. The dynamic of accountability can be seen in many contexts: classrooms, workplaces, and even personal relationships. It's the essence of commitment to someone or something beyond ourselves. Imagine a simple scenario: two friends decide to tackle their fitness goals together. They agree to meet at the gym 3 times a week. This commitment provides a layer of accountability that could be the push they need to overcome the temptation to skip. Research supports this notion. A study conducted at the Dominican University of California in 2007 discovered that individuals who wrote down their goals and shared them with a friend were 33% more likely to achieve them compared to those who merely kept their goals to themselves. The power of shared intention coupled with accountability is a transformative force as individuals commit not only to their goals but to each other. In professional settings, accountability can be woven into the fabric of team dynamics. Consider a workplace that fosters open communication and encourages employees to share their challenges. This culture of accountability can reduce procrastination, as teams tap into each other's strengths and provide mutual support. A 2019 meta-analysis in the Journal of Organizational Behavior highlighted that teams with higher accountability not only had better productivity outcomes but also reported greater job satisfaction. But while the concept of accountability sounds straightforward, it can be nuanced. Many people fear judgment or embarrassment, thus, they may resist sharing their goals. This psychological barrier can create a vicious cycle of avoidance. To combat this, it's crucial to create safe spaces where accountability can thrive. Such environments encourage vulnerability and honesty, allowing individuals to express their struggles without fear of ridicule. Actions like accountability partnerships, where two individuals regularly check in on each other's progress, can cultivate this safe space. Consider the narrative of a young entrepreneur, Jordan, who wanted to launch a startup. Despite having a brilliant idea, procrastination loomed large. However, after partnering with a mentor who held him accountable, he found clarity and direction and launched his business within 6 months. This powerful shift transformed Jordan from a dreamer into a doer. As we look closely, we see accountability doesn't solely reside in partnerships. It can also manifest through community involvement. Online forums or local support groups can enhance accountability by creating a collective environment focused on growth and goal achievement. This communal approach reduces isolation and fosters encouragement, which is vital for those struggling with procrastination. As we journey into the next chapter, we will delve into self-discipline, another cornerstone in our fight against procrastination. How does self-discipline intertwine with accountability? What strategies can enhance this vital trait? Let's uncover the answers in our upcoming exploration. Moving forward, let's shine a spotlight on self-discipline, a characteristic synonymous with success and essential in the fight against procrastination. What does it mean to be self-disciplined, and how can we cultivate this vital skill? Self-discipline feeds into our ability to control impulses and prioritize long-term goals over immediate gratification. It's about making choices that align with our values and aspirations. To put this into perspective, think about popular historical figures like Thomas Edison or Marie Curie. Both exemplified remarkable self-discipline in their pursuits. Edison, despite facing numerous failures, devoted countless hours to his craft, fueled by an unwavering commitment to his vision. In a modern setting, we can look to athletes. Consider a professional athlete who wakes up at dawn to train, despite the allure of sleeping in. This level of discipline is a cornerstone of their success. According to a study published in the Journal of Personality in 2016, self-discipline is a more accurate predictor of academic success than intelligence. This reinforces the idea that consistently applying effort, rather than just having talent, yields results over time. So how can we cultivate self-discipline? One effective method is goal setting. Establishing SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, grants clarity and direction. For instance, a student might set a goal to complete a 10-page paper over 2 weeks. Breaking it down into manageable sections, 2 pages per day, for example, creates a roadmap that feels achievable. Another tool is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness meditation has gained recognition in psychological research for its benefits in enhancing self-control. One study found that participants who engaged in mindfulness practices reported greater self-discipline in their personal and academic pursuits. Incorporating mindfulness techniques into daily routines, like taking a moment of reflection before diving into tasks, can help stave off procrastination. Moreover, consider the importance of environment in nurturing self-discipline. Very often, our surroundings can either bolster or hinder our ability to focus. For example, creating a dedicated workspace free of distractions can enhance one's ability to concentrate. A study from the University of Illinois found that people were able to focus better when they were in a tidy and organized environment, leading to improved performance. As we contemplate the journey towards self-discipline, it's clear that effort is vital. Much like building muscle, self-discipline requires consistent practice and reinforcement. In the following chapter, we'll explore the role of resilience in this journey. How does overcoming setbacks enhance our self-discipline? What stories of perseverance inspire us to keep going? Stay tuned as we unravel these compelling insights. As we delve further into our exploration of procrastination, we cannot overlook resilience. Resilience is our capacity to recover from difficulties and adapt in the face of challenges. This characteristic plays a significant role in managing procrastination and can be developed through our encounters with setbacks. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series. Before achieving monumental success, she faced numerous rejections and setbacks, from struggling financially as a single mother to receiving rejection letters from multiple publishers. However, her resilience allowed her to persevere. She viewed each setback not as a failure, but as a stepping stone toward her eventual success. This attitude exemplifies how resilience can help in overcoming procrastination. Research published in the Journal of Positive Psychology in 2015 established a strong link between resilience and goal attainment. Resilient individuals are often more effective at setting and achieving goals, as they are not easily deterred by obstacles. When we face setbacks in our goals, whether it's missing a deadline or failing an exam, building resilience helps us reassess, adapt, and continue moving forward instead of falling prey to procrastination. One method of building resilience is through positive self-talk. Negative thoughts can create a spiral of procrastination. Instead, cultivating a practice of encouraging self-talk can foster a mindset geared towards growth and motivation. For instance, saying, "I can learn from this experience" instead of "I failed, and now I'll never succeed." This reframing fosters resilience and reinforces self-discipline. Additionally, embracing a growth mindset, as popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, can also enhance resilience. This mindset encourages individuals to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. Individuals who adopt this mindset are more likely to bounce back from setbacks and keep pushing toward their goals. Moreover, establishing strong support systems can bolster resilience. Surrounding ourselves with positive influences, friends, mentors, or supportive communities, can provide encouragement during tough times. As we look towards the final chapter of our documentary, we will tie together all the threads we've explored. How do these elements converge to help us beat procrastination altogether? The concluding insights will reveal how to harness these lessons for sustainable personal growth. In our final chapter, let's weave together the myriad threads we've explored in our journey to understand and overcome procrastination. We've delved into the psychology of motivation, the necessity of accountability, the cultivation of self-discipline, and the building of resilience. This multifaceted approach sets the stage for lasting change. The first step in integrating these lessons is to recognize that overcoming procrastination is not about perfection, it's about progress. Embracing the notion that setbacks are part of the journey allows us to approach our goals with renewed vigor and determination. One powerful framework to consider is the concept of Kaizen, a Japanese term that means continuous improvement. This philosophy encourages incremental steps toward growth rather than overwhelming ourselves with monumental changes. By applying Kaizen, we can set smaller, achievable goals that build momentum. For example, if one aims to write a novel, starting with just 300 words a day can feel manageable and lead to significant progress over time. As we build upon our motivation, accountability, self-discipline, and resilience, it becomes essential to reflect regularly. Setting aside time for self-reflection allows individuals to assess what strategies are working and where adjustments may be necessary. Incorporating feedback from trusted peers can also enhance this process. During these reflections, individuals should celebrate their small wins, reinforcing positive behaviors and strengthening their resolve to pursue larger goals. Moreover, a vital aspect of integration is understanding that consistency is key. Developing a routine, whether it's a morning ritual or a structured work schedule, can provide the framework needed to combat procrastination effectively. Studies indicate that habits formed through consistent actions become automatic over time. A 2010 study in the European Journal of Social Psychology found that it takes an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. Thus, patience and perseverance are our allies on this journey. To conclude, it's imperative to keep in mind that the battle against procrastination is not merely about productivity, it's about crafting a meaningful life filled with intention and purpose. As we part ways, remember that every step taken toward overcoming procrastination is a leap toward a more fulfilling life. Embrace the journey, lean into the challenges, and flourish in your unique path toward growth and self-improvement. Thank you for joining us on this transformative exploration into the mind, and may your journey be filled with inspiration, resilience, and enduring motivation. Mindfulness has taken center stage in the realm of mental wellness over the last decade. But how does it relate to procrastination? Imagine this: you're sitting at your desk, a mountain of tasks before you, and instead of diving in, your mind starts to wander. You might think about lunch, upcoming plans, or even what you will watch later on Netflix. This is where mindfulness becomes our secret weapon. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, acknowledging your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Studies have shown that individuals who practice mindfulness regularly experience a notable reduction in stress and an increase in focus. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology examined how mindfulness can reduce procrastination. The researchers discovered that participants who engaged in mindfulness activities were less likely to procrastinate on tasks. One famous example of mindfulness's impact came from a prominent tech company's initiative. Employees were taught mindfulness techniques and were encouraged to take short breaks for meditation. As a result, productivity increased by over 25%. This clearly demonstrates that with a simple shift in awareness, one can combat the urge to delay tasks and improve overall efficiency. But how do we integrate mindfulness into our daily routines? One effective technique is the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding exercise. Let's break this down. You start by identifying 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This exercise allows you to anchor yourself in the present, freeing your mind from distractions. As we delve deeper into the world of mindfulness, it's crucial to explore its benefits not only for managing procrastination but also for enhancing decision-making. When we are present and attentive, we become more aware of our choices. For instance, a student preparing for exams often faces the choice between studying or procrastinating. With mindfulness, they find that they can observe the urge to delay, acknowledge it, and choose a different action based on intention rather than impulse. This intentionality is what allows us to break free from the chains of procrastination. The amazing part about mindfulness is its accessibility. It doesn't require fancy equipment or an elaborate setup. A simple breath-focused practice, where one takes deep, intentional breaths for just a few minutes throughout the day, can dramatically alter one's focus and commitment to tasks. As we wrap up this chapter, think about how you can incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine. Perhaps set reminders to practice being present, or start meetings with a short mindfulness session. The potential rewards are immense. But remember, the journey doesn't end here. There's a lot more to uncover about transforming your relationship with procrastination, and additional strategies await us. Have you ever noticed how your environment influences your productivity? Let's take a moment to reflect. Think about the last time you found it difficult to focus. Was it in a cluttered room? Or perhaps surrounded by distractions like your phone buzzing with notifications? Our environment plays a pivotal role in our ability, or inability, to concentrate and take action. According to research from the University of Minnesota, the design and layout of workspaces can either promote or hinder effective work habits. In their study, they observed that employees in open-plan offices reported higher levels of distractions and decreased productivity. Now, this isn't just a matter of personal preference, it's a psychological phenomenon. The ambient noise and visual distractions can overwhelm our cognitive resources, leading to the desire to procrastinate. So, how do we combat this? One effective approach is to create a dedicated workspace that signals to your brain that it's time to work. Setting up a specific area in your home or office solely for productivity can condition your mind to associate that space with focused action. Decorate it with inspiring quotes, keep it tidy, and minimize clutter. Another critical aspect is the role of color in our environments. Colors like blue are known to promote calmness and focus, while too much red can create anxiety. Consider the colors around you. Are they energizing or draining? And what about the visual stimuli? A study from the Journal of Environmental Psychology indicates that our surroundings can impact our mood and motivation significantly. For example, are you near a window with a view of nature? Nature has been shown to increase attention and reduce feelings of fatigue, making it an ally against procrastination. Furthermore, think about the impact of social environments. Being surrounded by other motivated individuals can create a positive feedback loop, enhancing our drive to complete tasks. In contrast, if we're surrounded by lethargy, it can be contagious, leading to the temptation to procrastinate. One actionable step you can take today is to perform an environmental audit. Walk around and assess the places where you work or study. Are they conducive to focus? What changes can you make? Perhaps it's as simple as decluttering your desk or investing in noise-canceling headphones. As we explore how environment shapes our habits, remember that crafting your ideal workspace is just one piece of the puzzle. There is still so much more to consider as we delve into the psychological barriers that can keep us locked in a cycle of inertia. Have you ever set a goal, only to find yourself putting off the steps needed to achieve it? You're not alone. In fact, research suggests that nearly 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. So what's going wrong? One common culprit is ineffective goal setting. The way we frame our goals has a profound effect on our ability to achieve them. Instead of setting vague goals like "I want to be healthier," consider adopting the SMART criteria: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's unpack this. A specific goal would be, I will go to the gym 3 times a week for the next month. This clarity creates a roadmap that guides our actions. In a study by the American Psychological Association, participants who set specific goals were 10 times more likely to succeed than those with general aspirations. But it doesn't stop at just being specific. It's crucial to break down those goals into smaller, manageable tasks. For example, while your overarching goal might be to complete a project by the end of the month, breaking it down into weekly or daily tasks not only makes it feel less daunting but also provides a sense of accomplishment along the way. This incremental progress can ignite motivation and reduce the urge to procrastinate. A case study illustrates this perfectly. A college student struggled with procrastination and found that by dividing her thesis into weekly objectives, research, outline, drafting, she was able to maintain steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. Another vital aspect is the power of visualization. Visualizing your success can boost motivation and create a clear picture of what achieving your goals looks like. Research from the Journal of Applied Psychology demonstrated that individuals who engaged in visualization techniques before attempting tasks often performed better than those who didn't. Imagine seeing yourself completing a difficult assignment or acing a presentation. This mental rehearsal prepares your brain to take action. So, how can you combine these strategies? Start by writing down your goals using the SMART framework, then break them into smaller tasks. Finally, take a moment each day to visualize your success. As we explore the depths of goal setting and its importance in overcoming procrastination, keep in mind that implementing these strategies in your life can reshape your approach to tackling tasks, making them feel more achievable. Next, we will dive deep into the other psychological aspects that contribute to our tendency to delay action. Mindfulness is an ancient practice that has garnered a significant following in modern psychology. But what does it actually mean to be mindful? At its core, mindfulness is the awareness and acceptance of one's thoughts, feelings, and sensations in the present moment. For those grappling with procrastination, the practice of mindfulness can be especially transformative. Imagine you have a looming deadline for a project. Instead of diving into work, your mind races with thoughts about how daunting the task is. You might start feeling overwhelmed, which can lead to avoidance, the classic procrastination trap. This is where mindfulness comes in. By practicing mindfulness, you can detach from these overwhelming thoughts and observe them without judgment. This allows you to acknowledge your anxiety but not be consumed by it. Studies show that regular mindfulness practice can significantly reduce procrastination. A research paper published in the journal Personality and Individual Differences reported that individuals who practiced mindfulness regularly procrastinated less than those who didn't. This is because mindfulness helps to improve emotional regulation, which is crucial when facing tasks that provoke fear or anxiety. Consider the story of Sarah, a graduate student pursuing her master's degree. Sarah struggled with procrastination, particularly when it came to her thesis. The thought of writing was paralyzing. She would find herself scrolling mindlessly through social media instead of working. After being advised to try mindfulness meditation, she began dedicating just 10 minutes each day to practice. During these sessions, she focused on her breath, letting go of any stray thoughts without judgment. Over time, Sarah noticed a change. When she sat down to write, she was able to confront her anxiety head-on. Instead of avoiding her thesis, she approached the task with a sense of calm. This shift didn't happen overnight, but she found that, with consistency, she became more productive and less anxious about her work. Mindfulness encourages self-compassion, allowing individuals to treat themselves kindly during moments of struggle. This can be pivotal for those who tend to be overly critical of their procrastination habits. Imagine instead of berating yourself for a lack of productivity, you acknowledge the struggle and mentally remind yourself that everyone faces challenges. Additionally, engaging in mindfulness can help to clarify priorities. When you are fully present, it becomes easier to distinguish between tasks that are urgent and those that are merely distractions. This clarity can lead to better decision-making and ultimately decrease the tendency to procrastinate. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start small, set aside just 5 minutes a day to focus on your breath or engage in a mindful walk. With time and practice, even these brief moments of mindfulness can lead to significant changes in your relationship with procrastination. As you become more adept at mindfulness, you'll likely find that your overall mental clarity improves. tasks that once seemed daunting may no longer trigger intense avoidance behaviors. You become not just a person who completes tasks but someone who approaches each challenge with confidence and resilience. In summary, the journey to overcoming procrastination is multifaceted. Mindfulness offers a lens through which you can view your tasks more clearly and compassionately. A study from the University of California, Santa Barbara revealed that participants who practiced mindfulness showed a significant reduction in procrastination by focusing on present moment awareness. So, take a moment for yourself. Embrace mindfulness and watch how it can transform your productivity and well-being. But what happens when mindfulness isn't enough and real-life distractions come into play? Let's explore the impact of environment on procrastination in our next chapter. Many people underestimate how much their surroundings influence their ability to focus and be productive. The truth is, our environment plays a crucial role in either promoting or hindering our motivation to tackle tasks. Whether we realize it or not, our surroundings can either trigger procrastination or foster an atmosphere conducive to productivity. Consider the workspace. A cluttered desk filled with distractions can be a significant barrier to concentrating on essential tasks. Research indicates that individuals who work in clean and organized environments report higher levels of satisfaction and productivity. A study published in the journal Environment and Behavior found that people in tidy environments were more focused and less fatigued than those in disorganized spaces. Now, let's look at the opposite scenario. Imagine you work in a bright, organized office filled with inspirational posters and minimal distractions. This kind of environment can help you feel more motivated and focused on your tasks. The lighting, colors, and arrangement of furniture all contribute to how easily you can concentrate. Aesthetics matter. Bright colors can evoke feelings of energy and positivity, while darker colors may evoke feelings of calm but can lead to lethargy if overdone. A personal story comes to mind from my friend Lucas, who used to work in a cramped corner of his apartment. The constant lack of space and natural light left him feeling drained and less inclined to get things done. Forgetting deadlines became a common occurrence. After discussing his struggles, he decided to reconfigure his workspace entirely. Moving his desk closer to a window changed everything. The infusion of natural light and fresh air invigorated him, and he was far more productive. It's not just physical space that matters, social surroundings also influence our productivity. Working in a bustling cafe might inspire creativity for some, while others may find it merely a distraction. A study from the University of Tokyo showed that students in collaborative and social environments were less likely to procrastinate than those working alone. Interaction and accountability can spur us into action. This dynamic interaction is known as the social facilitation effect, where individuals perform better on tasks when in the presence of others. Conversely, being around negative or unmotivated people can have the opposite effect. If you're surrounded by individuals who constantly complain or avoid effort, their energy can dampen your motivation. Consider the saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." If your immediate circle fosters procrastination, it may be time to reevaluate those relationships. Moreover, digital environments play a significant role as well. In today's world, our screens are rife with distractions. Social media notifications, streaming services, and endless browsing can suck away hours of our time. A study by the American Psychological Association found that the more time people spend on social media, the more likely they are to procrastinate at school or work. This can create a vicious cycle where procrastination leads to increased anxiety about unfinished tasks, further perpetuating the cycle. To combat environmental distractions, it becomes essential to create a designated work environment free from interruptions. Setting boundaries in your home or office can help establish a productive atmosphere. Use tools like noise-canceling headphones or task-based apps that limit distractions. By controlling your surroundings, you can maintain focus and mitigate the urge to procrastinate. In summary, the significance of environment in procrastination cannot be overstated. Your surroundings, both physical and social, can either push you toward action or lead you into a cycle of avoidance. Whether it's partnering with positive influences, reorganizing your workspace, or reducing distractions in your digital life, there are practical steps you can take to optimize your environment for success. But as we know, overcoming procrastination is a holistic journey involving more than just your surroundings. In the next chapter, we'll discuss the powerful role of goal setting in overcoming procrastination. Goal setting is a powerful tool that can dramatically change our approach to productivity and procrastination. Yet, setting goals effectively is a skill that requires understanding and practice. When you set clear, precise goals, you create a roadmap for achievement, reducing the chances of falling into procrastination. First, let's define what an effective goal looks like. Research from the Dominican University in California showed that people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them than those who don't. Goals should be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, instead of stating, "I want to write more," a smart goal would look like, "I will write 500 words a day for my novel for the next 3 weeks." This specificity helps eliminate ambiguity, making the task feel more manageable. Consider the fascinating case of John, a young entrepreneur who had dreams of starting his own business. However, he often found himself delaying important decisions and tasks, which left his ideas stagnant. After attending a workshop on effective goal setting, he learned to break down his overarching aspirations into smaller, actionable steps. Instead of focusing on launching a full business, he decided to create one target goal: "I will finalize my business plan by the end of the month." This focus made the larger vision less daunting and more achievable. Additionally, visualizing your goals can further enhance motivation. A famous psychologist, Dr. Gail Matthews, found that people who visualize their goals along with writing them down significantly increased their chances of success. Visualization helps connect emotionally with what you want to achieve, making you more likely to take action. The journey of goal setting also encompasses the importance of tracking your progress. When you monitor your achievements, either through journals or apps, it provides a sense of accountability. For instance, a popular app like Strides allows users to set various goals, track habits, and visualize progress over time. Seeing tangible results can enhance motivation and reduce the tendency to procrastinate. Moreover, setting deadlines plays a crucial role in this process. Our brains are wired to react to time pressures. When we give ourselves a timeline, it creates a sense of urgency that can propel us into action. For instance, a study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology highlighted that participants who set deadlines for tasks were more productive and less likely to procrastinate compared to those without deadlines. It's essential to remember that flexibility is also key. While deadlines can be useful, the rigidity of overly strict timelines can lead to anxiety, which may exacerbate procrastination. Allow yourself the grace to adjust goals as needed, while still striving for progress. Reflection on the process, rather than just the outcome, can enhance self-compassion, aiding in overcoming the harsh self-criticism that contributes to procrastination. Finally, while personal goals are vital, sharing your goals with a trusted friend or colleague can also add an extra layer of accountability. This method aligns beautifully with the principle of social facilitation mentioned earlier. When we know someone else is aware of our objectives, we are more likely to commit to achieving them. In summary, goal setting is a multifaceted approach to combat procrastination. By setting smart goals, visualizing success, tracking progress, and allowing flexibility, you foster an environment ripe for achievement. The journey doesn't end with goal setting alone, however. In our next chapter, we'll further explore the integration of these lessons for lasting change. Imagine for a moment, you're staring at a blank document on your computer screen. The blinking cursor seems to mock you, and your mind drifts to distractions. What's really happening in your brain at that moment? Procrastination isn't just a bad habit, it's a complex interplay of neurological processes. Studies conducted by neuroscientists have unveiled the intricate networks in our brains that lead us to put things off. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and impulse control, battles against the limbic system, which governs our emotional responses and reward-seeking behavior. When we choose to procrastinate, we often succumb to immediate gratification, a challenge that countless individuals face daily. Research published in the journal Psychological Science reveals that procrastination is closely linked to emotional regulation. When tasks feel overwhelming or when we fear failure, we shift our focus to more enjoyable activities. This tendency is not just a flaw in character, it stems from how our brains are wired. The emotional weight of a daunting task triggers our fight-or-flight response, leading us to flee towards distractions like social media, binge-watching television, or even mindless scrolling through our phones. One notable case is that of John, a college student who found himself constantly avoiding his studies. He delved deep into video games instead of tackling his assignments. A breakthrough occurred when he consulted a psychologist who explained how the brain prioritizes immediate rewards. Through cognitive behavioral therapy, John learned to rewire his thinking, incorporating short bursts of study followed by small rewards. This strategy engaged his limbic system while still serving the prefrontal cortex's need for structure and discipline. Understanding the neuroscience behind procrastination helps us create strategies tailored to our brain's wiring. Techniques such as time blocking can assist in training our brains to focus on tasks in manageable segments. Studies show that breaking projects down into smaller, achievable goals reduces anxiety and activates our brain's reward system. This neurological approach bridges the gap between understanding procrastination and taking actionable steps towards overcoming it. In the next chapter, we'll explore how we can leverage the power of time management to avoid the trap of procrastination. After all, it's not just about understanding the problem, but also about taking tangible steps to solve it. The alarm rings at 7 a.m., and you dread another day at work. But what causes this overwhelming urge to postpone tasks at your job? Workplace procrastination is a common phenomenon, affecting productivity and overall job satisfaction. Research suggests that 20% of employees regularly procrastinate, with some studies indicating that nearly 30% of the workforce admits to putting off their responsibilities. But why does this happen in a professional environment? The dynamics of the workplace, including fear of criticism, overwhelming workloads, and lack of engagement, contribute significantly. A survey conducted by a leading organizational psychology firm found that employees reported feeling detached when their tasks seemed irrelevant or monotonous. This disengagement leads to a cycle of avoidance. Consider Sarah, a graphic designer who once thrived in her role but started procrastinating on her projects. The lack of feedback and recognition from her superiors made her feel undervalued. The tasks began to pile up, and anxiety set in. She decided to confront her procrastination head-on by initiating weekly check-ins with her manager to discuss project progress and receive constructive feedback. This one small step transformed her work life. It re-engaged her with her tasks and improved her productivity remarkably. Another approach is promoting a culture of accountability. Companies can benefit from creating environments where employees feel supported and motivated. For instance, implementing group projects or peer reviews can foster collaboration and decrease isolation, which is often a breeding ground for procrastination. Additionally, flexible work arrangements, such as remote work or adjustable hours, can empower employees